So this was my response to his, "And don't you dare talk down to me again!" and his, "And I mentioned the experts in the field who know more than me and know what they're talking about." But he didn't see my previous comments because they got deleted, and I explained to him. Now I don't know why my comments got deleted, but I wouldn't put foul play above him or anything. To be fair, he also complains that his comments also got deleted. So who actually knows? He disrespects the actual experts in the field, but to his credit he does know something. Like if you're using a sword against full plate harness, you would want to stab in the gaps in between. However, the people who can afford full plate harness would have their arming doublets lined with mails in those gaps to provide extra protection. These are called voiders. And here's an example showing how effective chainmail or mail is against swords.
See, you guys spent so much time talking about the legendary power of the samurai katana, and it was just stopped in its tracks by the Viking
Take a look
chainmail.
at this. So besides a few nicked chainmail rings, there's absolutely no damage here.
So even if you did manage to get into the gaps, there is a good chance that it wouldn't be so effective. In conclusion, swords aren't that great against most good armor. Hence why we see maces, warhammers, and heavy polearms, poleaxes, halberds, bectacorbins, etc. dominate the battlefield. Even anti-cavalry polearms such as bills and other things. But he just won't admit that and claim that swords are still better. And so our special friend insults me and HEMA experts in one sentence and under the same breath claim, "Why do you think techniques like half sorting and more helpful?" Maybe ask HEMA experts whom you disrespect so much. The reason is because against armor, sword blades aren't that effective. So to make up for that, you need to create a makeshift mace or bludgeoning weapon. Swords have most of their weight at the hilt, and so by half swording and using techniques like Mordhau or the murder stroke, things which this guy clearly doesn't know about, you can actually use the sword as a makeshift mace. But you know what's actually better than a makeshift mace? A real mace! And make it two-handed, with a lot of leverage and power. And heavily armored soldiers wrestled so that they could pin their opponents down and use daggers on their eye slits and other gaps. That would ensure instant death. Then he says the closest that he will grant me is that English did use billhooks. Yeah, only billhooks. And then, although only for pulling a knight off of his horse, the finishing blow would be, of course, blah 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 blah. It's really insane. Then I start making fun of him, as I should. Trolling him should have been better. I talk about half sorting, literally put hand uncomfortably on the blade. Now, at this point in the video, I started debunking his claims one by one in the video, but unfortunately I realized that my desktop audio wasn't turned on, so yeah, the viewers can't really hear what he's saying. And to be honest, I don't have the patience to go back through that entire video again. But the gist of it is, he continues his straw man from the comment section and keeps on repeating the same point. And I'll give you the gist of his video. If you guys still don't believe me, feel free to watch his video. Oh, anyways, but I'm not gonna be posting it. I don't want to be giving that loser the attention that he craves. So he pretty much just talks about why swords were everywhere, the preservation biases I debunked already, and that they were a status symbol for the knights and other noble people. And he then talks about Damascus steel and why swords were made from that. And I'll link a video by Arms and Armor Inc. who demystify the myth of Damascus steel being better. In fact, in a lot of cases, Damascus steel was poorer in quality. The noblemen, like knights, liked their status symbol to be pretty, and so of course they would want their swords to have wavy patterns, even though some quality may be reduced. The link will be in the description below. He also continues talking about some other materials like obsidian, which Aztecs used in their bats. His words, not mine. The bats are actually makwahuatl. I don't think he even knows what that is. But he makes absurd claims like obsidian is somehow better than steel or iron or other metals. Sure, it's sharper, but that's only because it's harder than most things. In fact, its hardness is also a problem, because that makes it extremely brittle. And the weapons that the Aztecs used, made out of obsidian, didn't last as long as, let's say, metal weapons. He then brings up the classical period in a discussion of medieval warfare, about why the Romans used the gladius, a sword, and the shield, which is again bringing up a topic that has nothing to do with this context. But peculiarly enough, in the comment section he mentions hoplites, which is funny because their main battlefield weapon was the dory, the spear. Well, he also brings up period not only prior to the Middle Ages, but also after it. He talks about the rodilero, which were pretty much Renaissance at the end of the medieval period, so you can let it slide. And he talks about how their main weapons were swords and shields, and the shields were made out of iron. Again, a complete strawman that has nothing to do with the original argument. Now, this is quite funny because he accuses me of being delusional and misinforming people, whilst on the same breath commit every single fallacy that you can think of. And so again, I implore you guys, so if you feel like I'm misrepresenting something or I'm lying about something, you can go check out his video on his channel. But I won't be posting the link to that loser's video here. And with that, I'd like to say that the big pervert is done and dusted. Now I don't plan on continuing this charade of him making a video and then I make a response, because that would be giving him attention, and that is what a person like him wants. And I don't have free time like him. Some attention-seeking bozo who would literally try to humiliate someone over some pointless argument. I didn't plan on making this video either, but when you try and belittle someone, that's when the gloves come off. So this video will stand as testament, so that no one can lie, bully, and then belittle someone and get away with it. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Later.